Welcome to Suzette's Guilty Pleasures, a chance for you to be a part of the craziness in my head. I'm your host, Suzette. On today's episode, we will be speaking to Mss Francois. She is a dynamic entertainer, speaker, producer, writer, author, and game-changing trendsetter that aims to inspire. She migrated from Trinidad and Tobago in her late teens to establish a new legacy for her life. She's the host of the Mss Francois Show, a talk show that encompasses candid conversations with a variety of entertainment and uses humor to help others with their dysfunctional relationships. Let's go. Hello, Mss Francois. How are you?
Yeah, Suzette, you see, you practice that?
I had to, man. It was a lot. I had to.
That's when he's a superstar.
Right? Listen, I'm loving the energy that you are bringing. It's amazing. So I can only imagine what your show is like. But before we get to your show, let me first ask you, are you single?
Yes, I'm 5'5", brown eyes and caramel complexion. So, okay, if you're looking at this, do contact Suzette for my other information. I am very much single. I don't even want to mingle. I just want a husband. So mingling is take too much time.
And can I just add, you guys need to go to her Instagram, which I will post later, where she talks about looking for that husband. You will love it, okay? You will love it. So I'm just letting you guys know. She's putting it out there. She's looking for a husband. She's not looking to single and mingle. She wants to go straight. Cut all the nonsense. So just let you know. All right, all right. So during your singleness, what have you been doing? Like, what have you been doing to, like, I guess, work yourself and...
Yeah, I'm the kind of person that, they always say, well, this is a new thing, work on yourself. I am number one worker on myself, okay? I exhausted. So beside my regular job, I ain't talking about that because that's not my future. Beside that, I'm one of those people, I golf, I play tennis, wow. I have a personal trainer. Look how pretty that is. You see that right there?
Guys, yeah. Look, she brown skin and she has muscles. Not fake things, eh? Real things.
I'm sexy for this.
Right?
And I'm doing a lot of stuff with my show behind the scenes. People don't know how hard it is to put on a show. I'm involved in Toastmaster, area director in charge of different clubs. Oh. I'm doing everything and putting myself out there to date. So honestly, I should be sleeping right now because I exhausted. But the fact is, I'm doing my personal development, working on me. So by the time my prince, not king too old. So by the time my prince find me, he have the full package.
Listen, guys, she's a go-getter. Get her. So talking about that, sorry. So talking about all the different hats that you just see, how do you balance it all though? Like, how do you balance to do all of that? And then how would you balance, like, even with the relationship? Like, how would that work?
Okay, first of all, having to do with your goals in life. So my number one goal is my show. I love what I do. Once you love what you do, you're going to make time for it. People always use that retarded thing they say over and over. Oh, I'm so busy. I don't have enough time. We have exactly enough amount of hours. We all do. It's what you deem important enough, because when you think about the stuff you do with your 86,400 seconds a day, you know all about the TV show, you know all about the latest music, you're hanging out with your friends, you're drinking, and please, you know how much things you could be doing working on yourself. So we have the time. And again, if I find that right man, I will make the time, but I ain't find him, so I ain't have time right now.
No. So you might as well just use all the time on yourself, right? And all
exactly.
I you know what, I agree with you. It's so true. We can, if we really want to be able to find the time and really do something, you're right, we can find the time. Because there's lots of times where I can honestly say, I can sit down and tell you every TV show that I watch when I could be doing other things. So
yeah, no shame, Suzette.
I have none, trust me. Okay, can we talk about your show? So I've watched a few episodes of your show. You are hilarious, first of all. And I love the way that you are with your guests. Can we talk about it? Like, what made you create a show like this? What was your inspiration?
Inspiration, girl, I didn't know damn man. And I was frustrated and upset talking about inspiration. I was angry. I always tell people, it's not like I got up one day and decided to have a show. It kind of stemmed from a lot of things in the past. I did Toastmasters. I did like a speech called Steve Harvey Can't Find Me a Man. I took that, make it into a one-woman show. Right. And one day someone just came to my job and I wasn't feeling, I was feeling down. Sometimes you have those stuck moments and they're like, okay, what would you do with your life if you had everything and you just wanted to do whatever you wanted to do to make you happy? I said, I would have a TV show like Carol Burnett. And then he said, who the hell is Carol Burnett?
You showed your age. You showed your age.
But with that said, he put me in the right direction about starting a show because that's something I have nothing about. Right. And when it came to what I wanted to do it about, honestly, in the beginning, I was clueless. And I was like, a half an hour show, how do people do this? And but it stemmed from all the stuff I did in the past. It was always surrounding relationships. So the first episode so happened to be my friend found her husband mistress hiding in the bathroom. Oh, and I said, and girl, I made that shit funny. So the funny thing is the pilot, I didn't even know was the pilot we were doing. In my mind, it was to graduate from the class to, be able to have your show. Right. And she was nice enough to do it. And when I did the orientation, they was like, we need a pilot. And I was like, I have one. Right. She allowed me to, do the pilot with her. And that's how it started. And around that time, I was now in transitioning from now getting out of a relationship. And if you ever watch some of those few episodes, Gail, I wasn't that funny. People thought I was funny, but I was angry and pissed.
Well, right? So your anger and piss came out humorous. So it worked out for you.
So I tell people it started out as therapy. And then it became into something that evolved and I end up love doing it. And it's fun, and it's helping people. I like to say like empower, entertain. I'm authentic and I get to just be me. Yes. Compared to on your job, you have to do what your job says. It's my show, the Mss Francois show. I get to be Mss Francois.
Yes. And I have to honestly admit, you are very right. Like watching your show, as I said, I love it because you as you say, you are authentic and you see the authenticity within you when you're speaking to your clients, your guests and stuff. Sorry, work mode. When you're speaking to your guests and things. And yes, as I said, like, even though you have humor behind it, it does give a message though. You give a message to be able to get people to start thinking and to help themselves. And we'll talk more about it when we talk about your show, your book. But so on your show, what kinds of topics can people expect to hear? Like, can you give a couple of topics that you've talked about?
Sure. So I always say one thing with my show, it focuses on relationship. I have other different things that has nothing to do with relationship, like entertainment and stuff like that. Right. But I have had like therapists, psychiatrists, relationship expert, and everyone is different. Everyone comes with their own, antidote to relationship. So it could be dating at different ages. It could be, how to get over hurt. It could be taking care of yourself in order to attract that special person. Right. I have had the segment where I have asked a bunch of men or even a woman or whatever, a panel of women and men asking what women they believe what women want or what men want. So it's an array of topics, but I also have the entertainment section. I could introduce people to a up and coming singer, a comedian. So it have that whole concept and aspect of things, but I'm always go back to my relationships.
Okay. And I remember watching one of your episodes. I think it was the oldest.
I love Hattie. Yeah, the oldest cougar.
The oldest cougar. When I first read the title, I was like, the oldest cougar, who is this? But when I watched it, I was like, go girl. Like, you got your stuff going on. That was amazing.
I love her. She's really awesome.
She was good. She was so good. Okay, so other than, first of all, before we get to the book, how hard is it to do writing, directing your show, and also being the host? Because you're all three, right?
Yeah, I don't do cocaine, weed, and drink, okay? I should be doing all of those things. Because you know what it is? When you're in it, sometimes you don't realize it. What I've started to realize is when I finish and I look back and I'm like, how the hell did I do all of that? Yeah. But I think it's partly, I have a lot of energy, as you can see. There's the energy, the excitement, and loving what you're doing is a combination. Right? Because some of the stuff I have accomplished, if you had told me I was going to do that even 5 years ago, I would look at you like you're a crazy person. Right. But it's a lot to manage, but just love what you do and you could definitely put the time in to get certain things done. But my God, I'm tired. I always say it's me, myself, God, me, myself, I, and God. And I say most of the time I am tired. God is mostly doing the rest. Okay.
Yes, yes. Well, you look good for a woman that's tired. Let me tell you. I just want to put it up. Watch out. Watch out. Yes, get it. Go on. Yes. So to add to the many hats that you are also an author. So before we talk about your current book, what other books have you written?
Yeah. First of all, if my English teacher here I write a book, they go laugh.
Really?
I want to people that can't hold a pen.
Oh my goodness.
But my first book came about. That's why I said they have good and bad of COVID. Like COVID did get you to refocus on certain things. So I try to focus on the positive of COVID. Yeah. During that time, I had a coach. Her name was Jasmine, right? Mm-hmm. And she was coaching me. She was practicing coaching. So I was like her, her guinea pig kind of. So she was helping me through some stuff. And I was just, you're angry and you're just frustrated. But I'm like, oh, this show is so hard to do and people don't get it. Blah, blah, blah. She's like, so why don't you show people how to do it? I'm like, that's the stupidest idea ever. Right? But when someone I'm a person, when you give me an idea, even though I say it's stupid, I think about it. I spoke to my confidant, which his name is Quentin Mezzerton, the mind investor. He's someone, he listens and then came back to me. He's like, okay, so you know all about shows. Like he broke it down. He's like, that sounds like a great idea. Right. I'm like, it is. So the book is called Lights, Camera, Launch, and basically it's kickstarting your way of doing your own professional TV show by using the me in team. Because people used to say, oh, there's no I in team, but I'm like, there's a me. And in order to start anything you like, you're going to have to start with yourself. You don't immediately have a team. I still don't have a team,
So you still do everything on your own pretty much.
Yeah, like this is Superwoman in a Wonder Woman costume. Okay.
No, go on. Go on. I like
so that's what I'm trying to tell. It's a lot of work. Because I said even before COVID, I used to do it in a studio, which that's gonna come back sooner or later. Right. So before I think about, first of all, Mss Francois, you see, look, these legs here, the outfit. So just the outfit and the whole persona, the fashion, so forth and so on. Just the set to make sure the set is right. That is work by itself. Just imagine you have an author on your show, you have to read the book. If it's whoever, you got to research the person. It's not easy. And I always use this example. When you see Ellen, when you see The Daily Show, Steve Harvey, they have 10 writers sitting in a room and drinking coffee all day to come up with your stuff. Exactly. So you know how much work that is for one person. Yeah. And I have a regular job and other things that I'm doing. It's a lot. Yeah. Right? So you need to get the book in order for you to be like me. Okay.
No, trust me. Me want my TV show too. So I could definitely get that one.
No, it's a lot. So I was glad to actually because when I started writing, I was like, I ain't gonna have much to say. But when you start writing and you keep going, and I'm like, damn, I was looking at this stuff. I'm like, I do a lot, and I'm one of those people that kind of beat myself up a lot, and I have to have my confidant Quentin remind me how amazing I am, because you need reminders.
Oh, you do.
I have something called a badass list that was taught to me by people named Chris and Jen, and they say every so often you'll read your badass list to remind you how far you've come and how amazing you are, because you forget.
I like that. I might have to do one of those lists, because it's very true. No matter what, there's times where we have moments where we always look down on ourselves and we never remember how far we've come until somebody tells us. But we shouldn't have to wait necessarily for somebody to tell us, right? Yes. So I like that list. I'm gonna have to create one myself. I'll definitely have to do that. Good tip.
Oh, you're welcome. That will be $50.
Well, let me tell you, your current book, which is called Let That Man Go. I learned a lot from that. I can tell you that much. So I don't need any more tips from you. But it's basically called Let That Man Go, the 5 steps to getting over a breakup. So after your first book, which was talking about, launching your own TV show and things like that, what made you now to let's delve now into a journal type book about that?
Well, So one thing I always make sure is 5 steps to getting over a breakup. I said, look, I can't keep a man, right? I can't find one. He can't find me. But I've been in relationships, but I'm good at getting over them. I ain't going to be lying down and not bathing for days or whatever. You know, you cry a little, and then I found different ways in order to, you know, find yourself. Because a lot of times we get lost in relationships. So that's where that really comes from. I love my title. I like how you say beep, because normally I go, let that beep, beep man go. You're like, let that beep man.
Listen, because as I'm seeing it in my head, I'm like, oh, let that man go. So I gotta emphasize that bleep.
So I'll use that. I'll use the long beep. Beep.
Yes.
And I love that title, because I tell people, when you finish a relationship, you're not happy and excited. So I feel like it was a way to express yourself. You know, you could put whatever words in the middle there. You know, let that damn man go is just to get that extra thing out, you know, to feel better.
Yes.
You know, before you start back on this continuing this new journey, you know, of your life.
Did you get a lot of the breakups from your own experience, or did you speak to other women to see like where they came from too?
I had my own experience, but in addition, you know, you text a lot of your friends to ask them what, you know, so I came back with a lot of times was a lot of the same things, you know, a mixture. I tell people you might only need one, you might need all of them. I don't know what you're going through. Some of you all might need some serious therapy, you know. So everybody's at different levels in life. Some people have done the work on personal development. It's 10 times easier for them to bounce back. Some people, you know, put so much of themselves into the relationship that without the relationship, they're non-existent. So we're all at different levels, you know?
Yeah. And that's what I loved about your book. The book, so for my listeners, it's a journal, but it's a journal where she talks about the different experiences and then asks reflective questions, which I felt was very helpful to me, because I feel that no matter where you are and what stage of your breakup, it still allows you to reflect on what you went through. Because my last breakup was 2 years ago, but reading through yours, and I thought, I'm good. I'm fine. Like, who cares? I've gotten over it. But after I read your book and I was doing the reflective question, I was like, oh, I'm actually not fully good. You know what I mean? It really made you think. And one of the things that you say in the book is that we tend to blame ourselves, which is so true, right? And why do you feel that we women always tend to blame ourselves?
I think it's the first thing that comes up for us. We just naturally point the finger, and it could have something to do with the other person, you know, according to what that person is saying to you and how you feel. I think we naturally, as being that we're caretakers and we're emotional creatures, we start to be like, I could have done this, or maybe it's me. And everything is 99% is just reflectors of us. Because if we're the one that's supposed to, you know, we're always planning, we're always making sure everything is good, the kids are right. So if we're doing everything, it must be us that messed up on the relationship. Who else is it when we're in charge of everything technically? True. You know, and it's just so much more easier.
True. Do you feel also that the reason why it's harder for us to be able to handle breakups is because we're in this strong woman mode?
Well, now if we have transition, we know we're superwoman. Yeah, sometimes we need to just relax the damn self. Yes, we're strong, but to a point, but we need to be able, you know, to just dial it down a bit. We're strong and we're superwoman or whatever, but we are human, right? And we all need love. We all need that companionship, so forth and so on. So, you know, and I'd like to say we're on all different levels when it comes to emotional relationships and how we see ourselves and see the other person in the relationship also. So there's a lot of other things that factor in it, you know?
For sure. And I know that in reading your book, like, to my listeners, like, yes, her journal is good, but as she states in the journal, and she even just stated here, like, it's still good to speak to somebody like a therapist, because there's a lot more of things that may come up while you're doing the reflective questions that you're filling out. This is what I've noticed, right? A lot more things started to come out for me where I was just like, wow, like, I didn't realize, or, you know, so that was a good thing about your book. Why do you think that humor is important in the work that you do when you're trying to help others?
Okay, so I have a simple thing for myself. I mean, honestly, if people research it, they say it releases endorphins. That is, the endorphins, when it release, it can actually heal you. It, like, if you have pain, you don't feel the pain as much. I guess it makes you think of other things or will refocus on other things. So it's actually scientifically proven that humor is very healthy for you. For me, it's easy. I find that it makes people easy to like digest information, because sometimes when you come too serious or too hard on someone, you kind of blank off or you put up a wall. But when it's humor, it eases in there and you're like, oh, that's a kind of a good point, and you're basically laughing and you take it in much more easier. So that's why I like the humorous aspect of it.
Have you ever gotten a guest where they felt that with your humor you weren't taking it serious?
But first of all, you have to watch 1 or 2 of my episodes before you even a guest. So if you can't take it, you're on the wrong show. It have other shows for you, not Mss Francois show. And if that's the case, then it wouldn't be airing.
So you'd have
Mss Francois show, I could do what I want.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But there's just sometimes that depending on where that person is, right? Sometimes they feel like, oh, I think I'm good. But then you might hit that one question and, it's a trigger and it's like, no, like, it's not even funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I have a way. You know what it is? I could adjust to a lot of things. So, because I have had shows where, I dial back a little and I listen more, because the whole thing is not like we're laughing up a storm through the whole thing. It's just so much certain gestures or because it's a time and place for everything and how you could maneuver through certain questions. I'm pretty intelligent. Yeah. Didn't you read my bio that was a mouthful?
No, you are.
So you have to know well, and at the same time, even when you have a guest, some guests, even just talking to them, they could be great behind the scenes. When that light comes on and the mic and you start to record, they become a whole different person. And it's very hard to interview some people and you're drawing out the answers and it's draining. So I've had many different guests that I had to like tweak and do the best I can. And some people say, oh, that interview was good. And I'm like, that interview was exhausting.
You don't even know what I went through. Oh my gosh. Just a mental piece of it trying to
yes, it's good. I'm sure you have the same thing sometimes. Yeah, don't say the name, okay? But it's not always easy.
Yeah. So your show, where can people be, where would like the listeners be able to see your show, and like how far is it reaching?
Okay, so overall it's on many, especially in the New York area, or I should say in the North area, from Pennsylvania to DC to all of New York, all the bars and stuff. It have many different community stations that it on. It's in 22 Caribbean countries in Canada. And but a lot of times I just direct people to my website or social media, so it's easy for you to go to the YouTube, because you're going to catch all the same episodes and you could stream them whenever you choose to. Right. But it's really far. I'm even in the process of trying to get it to the next level. Because a lot of people see your stuff and like, oh, you're making a lot of money. This time you're not hungry. I only had to drink hot tea because I had gas. But I think this year for me is about monetizing, getting more sponsorship and getting it to the next level.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like to hear that. What would you say is your ideal mate?
Oh, Lord. Okay. Oh, we're just talking about, okay. So my mind went somewhere else. I do apologize. Feature wise, because people like to say, oh, it's what's on the inside that counts. I say, yeah, but I have to be able to watch the person long enough to find out what's on the inside. Okay. Mm-hmm. So everybody boat is flowed differently. If I had to have my ideal man and he had to walk right in front of me, I just say, Mr. Noah, Trevor Noah, my name.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Okay, all right, get off my man. Sorry. All right, find your own. I already know he's single.
He is. I thought he was in a relationship.
No, he was. They break up or whatever. And I know you like them white girls, but try a little thing now.
Yeah, right.
But my thing, people might think it's only looks. And again, I have dated many different shades, different nationality. I'm pretty much open, right? I haven't dated Asians, but I go try it, right? Yeah. I like that little Chinese food, so you never know, right? But I have my Trevor Noah is ideal, but it's not because of his looks only. It's because he's so educated. I like the fact that he's an immigrant and coming from where he came from, he have a different understanding of certain things. And I kind of love the overall, because we could relate, we can relate. I understand you, Trevor. You had a hard life, we here. Right. So it's
So
not
you
only
read his
that,
book then. You read his book.
yeah, and that's why I think I got even closer to him, because some of the stories he had, it reminded me of Trinidad with the outhouse in the back, and
Yes.
it was really interesting. I was, so it was really interesting, and I love people that come from that kind of background because they appreciate so much when they do get stuff. They appreciate it more. He's not a spoiled rich person.
True. It's
so
true.
Ideally, Trevor Noah, my number is.
Don't worry, I'll give it to you, Trevor. Just hit me up first. Then I'll
You see, that's how people get killing on shows too. But this is Suzette's last episode.
But I have to agree with you, because I used to like hear about Trevor Noah. I watched a couple of his like nighttime shows, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's good." But once I read I didn't read his book. Once I did the Audible on his book, I was like, "Oh my goodness, this man is like amazing!" And to hear what he went through, and his life growing up, and the way I was just like, "Wow." That's crazy. It was a book. Yeah, it was good.
But for me, like once I'm attracted to you, you don't have to be Trevor Noah looking. That would help. But just an attraction. You can have some nice eyes, and I like a good conversation, because I said most of the time, if you could catch me mentally and I could at least look at you long enough, we could be all right. But I like someone that's supportive and goal oriented. I'm doing a lot of things. I've been with men where they're like, okay, yeah, I'll support you, and then they just say it verbally and there's no support. If I have a show, you could watch a little show, give me a little comment back. I always say I win a trophy and I walk downstairs like all excited with, you win your Emmy and your Academy Award, and then you're going home by yourself. So you want that person to be like, yeah, girl, I love you. That's my girl. But it's very hard to find that. Some men are intimidated, and because they're not as goal oriented, they don't understand,
Yeah. Or if they feel, or if you're or as you said, people think, oh, you have a show, you must have money, you're rich. But then so they already imagine, oh, this girl must have a lot of money, and I'm not up there with her, financially, so she's not going to want to talk to me, so that's where the intimidation.
They should take a chance and then get turned down. Don't just assume.
Exactly. We all assume. Shoots. So one thing as I said, I love watching your show. I love your book. What kind of advice or tips for those that are listening, whether it's about relationship or starting your own show, like what kind of tips or giveaways can you give some of the listeners?
So like with relationships, just like my book or my show, one thing I've learned, and because you get so much experience and so much things you learn, is one size don't fit all. And I always like to go, right, ladies? It's tight. That don't mean it's for everybody, right? Hint, hint. So my show might be for certain people. And I always tell people like, oh, so what's a good thing to maintain a relationship? I say, I don't freaking know. The hell I go help you with that.
Right.
So everything is not for everybody. Find what works for you. And it even goes with books, so advice, so personal development, not everything. Just because you read a book from Steve Harvey and act like a lady, think like a man, that might work for 10 people and might work for the other 2. Find what works for you, because we're all individuals. We like what we like. We know what we know, right? I would give that. And the other thing I like to always say when it comes to relationship, stop telling your girlfriend who ain't have no man, who's sleeping around with 10 people, and stop asking her for advice when you're in a 3-year relationship. Stop being an idiot. You're stupid. Not stupid, but you're stupid.
You're stupid. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I always tell people, you have different kind of friends. If you have a friend that like to hang out and drink on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, leave that for the partying friend on a particular date. Right. I always say I have my confidant. His name is Quentin, right? He comes with 5 kids and a wife, so nothing there, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he been with his one woman for like 20 years, and they've been married for maybe about 10 years or something like that. Wow. So ask advice from the right people, the people that want to see you rise above things, people that inspire you, and examples. Stop asking your loser friend that not about nothing, and because she's single, she wants you to be single too. And as for women, stop asking women something we need to ask a man. Because what do your friends do? They agree with you. Yes, girl, you should leave him. I can't believe. Shut the hell up. Yeah. So that's my other advice. Find a confidant, and not your BFF. Your BFF is sleep with your man, so I don't like those.
That's good advice, guys. Be watchful of your BFFs. Okay.
Yeah, that they use that too loosely. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Look up confidant. There's a whole different meaning towards that.
That's what you need to aim for sure. But what, you know what, you said, you mentioned something, and I want to actually ask it. What did you learn about yourself through all this whole process, from, you know, your breakups to starting your show to writing your book and to where you are right now, even during COVID? Like, what did you learn about yourself?
I think number one thing, I am super amazing. I'm one of those people that, again, like in the beginning, I was saying how I beat myself up a lot. And I feel like me coming to from Trinidad to here, I feel like I haven't accomplished much. And I think that always comes back because I have no kids and a husband. And sometimes when you feel like you don't have that, like you feel like you haven't done anything. So
Yeah.
many times I look like, oh my God, I need to work more. I need to do something more. I haven't done anything. But during this course, I realized I am amazing. I
Yes,
am super beautiful.
yes,
I'm
yes,
super
you are.
intelligent. And
Yes,
there's so much things I have accomplished. And
yes,
I'm supposed to be able to walk outside and just dance in the street and just run around and just be happy.
yes,
So definitely one thing I continue to work on, and I am doing a good job, is being present in the moment. If you just walk outside and pick a flower, you
mhm,
know, just and be more patient, because I'm with myself, you
right.
know, because sometimes I read my own bio and I'm like, damn, I want to have sex with me, you know. So so
That's
I've definitely
that's good. When you want to
so
have sex with you, you know you're on another level. That's a good level, though. I
so
like that.
I've definitely learned to love myself more, have more self-worth, and to bask in my own accomplishment and appreciate myself more and be more present.
For sure, for sure. I like that. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, don't try
Uh,
to steal it. You look like you're going to steal it. Oh, Lord Jesus.
no, no, no. I mean, I'm gonna take some stuff away. I'm gonna definitely, because you have dropped some gems, you have dropped some nuggets. So, I mean, I'm definitely gonna take some things away from our conversation. But another question I have, and it just came up. So during COVID, do you feel that you learned more, or has it pretty much been the same since before
Girl,
COVID?
the stuff I've learned, even with courses that I've taken, I should have like 2 PhD. I'm
Wow.
one of those people that took over advantage of COVID because I did not focus on all, you know, I've had people that died and so forth and so on. And that is one aspect of it. But that time that we had, girl, I took courses. I came up with my own studio indoors. Like, you know,
Right.
so I think I worked even more. That's the time I wrote 2 books in that one year.
Wow. You
Okay.
see that, everyone? There's hope. We can do it if we put our mind to it.
And that's what it is. So when you decide this is what you want, and one thing my Quentin always tells me, I'm good at I follow through. Because people be like, I want to do this. And then next week they can't remember what it is. And then they sit down watching a series. And I always tell people, don't watch series. It's the worst thing you can ever do.
Wait,
If you want
why?
to relax, watch a movie. Because when you start watching a series, what happens? It says 5 years or 5 seasons. You're in bathing for 2 days, you're up till 3 in the morning, you eat, and then people don't, and then it's the same people gonna say, oh, I don't have time. You had time to watch 2 days in bed to watch one show.
It's so true.
Yeah, Suzette, you should be ashamed because you look like you just do this.
I'm baiting myself out here, eh?
So oh, you're damn guilty.
Don't get me wrong. I do take my little break when the TV says, "Are you still watching?" I use that as my time to go shower. So come on.
Oh, that is bad. That no, that TV been running a while for when that message comes up. But no, serious. You want to break? I watch one show, one movie, and then I go back to what? Because you know you need that little distraction
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. You know what? As I said, I've taken a lot of good gems and nuggets from you. I will implement into my life. But please, listeners, as I said, I want to tell you, read her book. Once again, it is called Let That Bleep Man Go. The 5 Steps to Getting Over a Breakup. It's a very good book. And I think even whether you've gone through a breakup or not, it still helps to really be able to hone yourself in when you're in a relationship. That's just my opinion though, right? As I
That's
said.
my opinion also.
Yeah. See? So you don't have to necessarily go through a breakup to read the book. The book, like, it's not a book, sorry, the journal. It's really good. It really allows you to really reflect on your own life, how you are as a person in a relationship too. So I would definitely 100% recommend it. But anyways, I want to say thank you so much, Mss Francois, for for coming on to the show. And I do want to say to my listeners, please go onto her on her Instagram and her Facebook. It is called Mss underscore Francois, Francois. She also has her YouTube page, as she had mentioned, if to watch her TV show. It's called the Mss Francois Show. And she has her website at www.mssfrancois.com. I will put all her details in the description box so that you will not miss out. And you can also get her book on Amazon, which I will also put the description in, because you guys need to go and get this book. It is so good. I really enjoyed it. Do you have any last words, Mss Francois, for my listeners? And
so I'm like, stay tuned, because I'm going to the next level, because I'm going to turn the book into like a course. So stay tuned. Before the end of summer, I'm gonna be out there doing even more things. Yes, Suzette, you gotta keep up, girl. You gotta keep up.
I do. You're making me like, I was thinking like, you've done a lot, Sue. Like, but boy, talking to you, I feel like, dang, I need to do more.
People say talking to you they say they get tired. They're like, you do so much, I'm tired.
I was like,
and people forget that I have a regular job, like from 8:30 to 5.
And you're still working even after that. See?
Yes.
And that's why I feel like I'm doing so much. That's why I need those breaks of watching those series. When I have the TV talking to me, continue watching, right? But listen, I'm going to use my time more wisely for sure at this
I'm
point.
proud of you.
Thank you. So follow me on Instagram and YouTube at Suzettes Guilty Pleasures, where you can leave your questions and comments. And while you are there, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. Come on, man. Come on,
girl and boy.
Come on. But until next time, please take care, be blessed, and stay safe. And thank you, Mss Francois, for joining me today. And I will bless you a wicked, wicked rest of the year.
Thank you, love.